Good morning. I'm going to skip through a couple of these. I've been asked to speak about, and I'd like to speak about, what the unusual preservation offer that Related is making to this community. And I think it's extraordinary, unprecedented in this community, and will set a new high watermark for historic preservation everywhere in South Florida. So if you're familiar with how historic preservation ordinances work, it's a negative covenant. It means that if you designate yourself historic or landmark a building, you agree to not tear it down, not to alter, deface, destroy the exterior of the building, which Related is proposing to do with this building. This building, much to the surprise of probably everyone in the community, is not landmarked. So this building could pull a demo permit this afternoon if they would like to, and there is nothing to legally stop them from doing it. What Related is proposing to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to protect this building in perpetuity through one of these negative covenants, but they want to go a step beyond that. They also want to perpetually conserve, via a recorded conservation easement, all of the green space on the south side, the east side, and the north side of the building. So you've not only saved the building, you've saved it in its original context. So there's a couple of goals in historic preservation. One is saving a building. Number two would be saving it in its context. And the third, sort of the triple crown of historic preservation, would be saving its original historic use, which is this church congregation. And that's exactly what Related is proposing, the triple crown of historic preservation. So when you add up the green space surrounding the church, including the submerged land that sits out in the lake that is owned by the church, that a marina or dock could legally be built upon, it's about 1.25 acres of green space that would be perpetually preserved for public use. Now stop and think about that for a moment. How much money have we spent as a community over the last 3 decades trying to create a green belt on the west side of Flagler Drive between the two bridges? We have done it where the Chamber of Commerce is, in front of the Northbridge Center, in front of St. Anne's. The City Commission a few years ago spent our tax dollars to buy the old Helen Wilkes Hotel. We purchased the old hotel that was later imploded and became the Meyer Amphitheater. We have created almost an unbroken chain of green space. It's taken us a long time. It's been a policy initiative of multiple mayors and multiple commissions, and we're almost there. And the last southern piece of that is right here. And instead of asking the taxpayers to pay for that, which by the way would be an awful lot of money, Related is proposing to give that to us for free in perpetuity and maintain it for free. And best of all, name it in honor of Julian Abel, the man who designed this building in this context. And then to top it all off, this is what I think will be the new high watermark in preservation. It goes beyond a negative covenant to not tear the building down. It's the establishment of a perpetual endowment fund to ensure that the building, as it looks today, will look this way in perpetuity. So it doesn't matter what happens to the finances of Related or the finances of the church. It doesn't matter who purchases the building someday from Related. It means that there will always be a pot of money available solely for the preservation of this building. So Related has undertaken a baseline study of this building. They have photographed and documented every material on the exterior of this building, every door, every column, every window, every step, every blue roof tile. And the way it looks today is the way that it will look forever. And there is a high 7-figure amount of money that has been agreed to between the church and Related that will be in this endowment fund. Neither Related nor the church can invade the principle of it. And the city has third-party enforcement rights. So should Related and the church fail to maintain the building, the city can step in at any time and use the money to preserve this building in perpetuity. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not familiar with that being done anywhere in South Florida in any other historic preservation project. I think that provides enormous assurance to our community that the bargain being offered by Related is one that will be here forever. And I do think that it will create this new high watermark in historic preservation. So any future projects that come before this community will be required to meet that same standard, which would be spectacular for historic preservation efforts throughout our community. Thank you very much.